My question is, what does she bring to the table? She doesn't look like she's a very pleasant person to be around. She doesn't act like a very pleasant person to be around. And I would despise getting in a fight with her. Because I feel like no matter how wrong she would be, she can be like, is that how you want to be? Really? I feel like that'd be the entire, like, no matter how wrong she is, she'll make you go crazy, bashing your head against the wall.
So today we have Starzan on the channel. And the reason why I asked Starzan to come back on the channel is because last year we did a review of predictions of various fat activists. And we said, are they going to be a gain, a lose, or a go? And you know what? I planned on coming back and revisiting every single one of them. I did, and maybe I will in the future. But one of them really stood out. And it's one of them that I reviewed with Starzan. And she had a lot to say about this one. So we are going to be doing a fat activist video today. And I think we're just gonna completely drag realistic recovery or
Or whatever she
anti-diet
calls herself
pilot
now.
or whatever her name is. Okay, so Starzan, thank you for coming back. Do you want to start off by reminding my viewers who you are and where they can find you?
Yes. So many people might forget I exist because I very unintentionally have been on hiatus for about give or take a year now, which I am sorry for. You can find me on my YouTube. You can find me on apparently my TikTok, which is back up. On my Instagram, same name, Starsan. And if you want to look it up, you like Lady Starsan or Starsan, you can find me all over there. Who I am a woman who fell for the body positivity movement. And at the lowest point in my life, I truly let it take hold. And I nearly peaked at 500 pounds. And I now, after realizing my faults, I started to try to lose weight. And then I realized other people were falling for these evil charms that the body positivity movement and people like realistic recovery, or like you said, whatever the hell she calls herself now, because she changes her name. And I felt I needed to stop it. So I started speaking out. And then life got in the way and I stopped speaking out. But like Lydia said, I am planning on coming back. So anyone who our audiences are cross path, I will give Lydia all credit for this. She asked, I said, you know what? Yeah. And I'm hoping with my husband's encouragement as well, because he has been poking and prodding at me. He'll look at my YouTube at the top where it says live streams every Tuesday and new uploads every Thursday. He goes, hey babe, how's that Thursday upload? Shut up. I don't want to hear. Don't look at it. Don't acknowledge it. So I'm ready for this. I'm so ready for this because like I had ignored the Bopo because in my mind, I thought it was dying. I really like it felt like it was in the death throes
Yes.
for a while. So that was one of the reasons why I wasn't too motivated to create because I was like,
Mhm.
people have caught on. I
Yeah.
don't know what happened, but it feels like it's having its renaissance and I'm not okay with it.
No, no, I don't really know what's going on with it. My content is not going to focus a lot on it, but when there are certain stories that I just got to do them. And this is one that we got to do. So I've got numerous little clips of anti-diet pilot slash realistic recovery that I would like to share with you and get your commentary.
Every time I bring up fat phobia, everyone always thinks that that means that they hate fat people. And that's part of it, but like really, that's not what I'm talking about. Allow me to give you an example. I'm wearing this cute little outfit. Ignore my room. It's so dirty. Notice how this gives me a little bump here. Looking at myself in this mirror, telling myself that this is not flattering is fat phobic. Why? Because looking at yourself in the mirror and thinking, wow, this region looks bigger, therefore it's not flattering, it's bad, it's ugly, means that you have a bias that being in a larger body is bad. And that bias is literally what internalized fat phobia is.
So this is what she claimed to be when she came out. This is her accept yourself. It's bad to think that fat is bad. What do you
Mhm.
think, Stars?
So to begin with, this is something where again, when you're somebody as the crew over there says, when you're someone living in a larger body, it is not just about saying, "Oh, my body's disgusting." Number 1, she was wearing white pants. Let's just I wanna just deconstruct what she said because it's so incredibly stupid. You're wearing white. So white is going to make you look bigger no matter who you are. It's going to fold worse it is stiff fabric that she's wearing. So it creases unnaturally. When you wear a stiff fabric, the reason why it looks bad when you bulge out anywhere, whether you're skinny or fat, is because it looks uncomfortable. It looks like it's disheveled and it's wrinkled and it's frumpy. It wouldn't matter if that was a if you look at a lot of overweight women who have the same size pouch that she does in, let's say, a stretch mini skirt, which I've seen plenty of times, they look far better than she does in those pants because she's wearing a very wrinkled, um, the style is for it to be like a sloping top that cuts her off straight at the midsection. So to begin with, it's separating her body in an odd way, but
Mhm.
she has a very flat chest and rib cage. So then when you go down, you go to the second part of that like separation. Well, suddenly it's got more wrinkles. There is no dynamic definition. There is no dichotomy of look. So it just creates this continuous drapage. That's why when she looked in the mirror, it looked bad because it looked bad. It had nothing to do with her belly. It's because for all the money she makes, for all of the shit she talks, she actually doesn't have very good fashion sense. I'm sorry. Because even Tess Holliday, who wears some of the frumpiest outfits I've ever seen, understands this.
Mhm.
And it's just it's astronomical to me. And then she's sitting there saying, "You're not allowed at any point in time to look at your body and say, 'Hey, that doesn't look good.' Why? Sometimes it is okay to just be truthful. I know that there are outfits that I wear where they can look really, really great. I've gotten complimented my whole life. Hey, for a fat girl, you look good. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And that's because I don't make that mistake of if I'm wearing super drapey and flowy pants, that I'm also wearing a super drapey and flowy top that'll make me look like a really weird version of an elderly grandma flowing through the woods, getting to chant in her little circle. I don't know. But it's just it's creating this idea that you're never allowed to criticize yourself, that you're never allowed to think critically about what you've chosen, what you're wearing. Anytime you look and you go, wow, that looks bulgy, it looks wrinkled. Well, that's not you being truthful. Well, that's not that maybe you are looking a little unflattering. That's just internalized fat phobia. Throw that out, babes. Do
And
what you
what do
want.
you think that says when she's making content like this? What do you think her real internal voice is?
I think she genuinely doesn't like fat people. I think that she loves to profit off of them. I think she's never liked it because she is even in her own videos said she's not attracted to fat men. Right? She loves to talk about her dating life and all these six-figure doctors, basketball players, lawyers, these 6-foot men with these abs and all these. She loves to talk about these gorgeous men she's dating.
Mhm.
She's never once even said she would consider it, and she says that point blank, that she would not consider an overweight man. But she never says it about the girlies because she knows the girlies are where she makes her money.
Right.
That's I don't think I think she likes the idea because of her arrogance, because of her overall just smug no matter even when she's trying to record something that is genuine and kind, she's always got such a smug, know-it-all, shit-eating face, and I feel like that's because on the inside, she's like, "That's right. You look like shit, and I don't.
And that
I'm
is the word that everyone uses, smug. If
smug."
you recall our thread of content creators, everyone used
We were all in agreement. None of
that
us like that shit.
word.
It was a cacophony of that bitch, like
Yes, it was.
it was just like because that is the best way to describe her. Oh my god, that bitch, that one. Ugh.
I did a video with Chris in real life, and we were talking about her lifestyle. And I just wanted to remind viewers about that lifestyle? Well, she's forking out a lot of money to look beautiful. And her budget is way higher than the average woman. Let's take a look.
Right there. Look at all that money she spends and how sloppy she looks half the time.
$7,000 a month?
That's an insane, an astronaut. And here's my thing, okay? And this is where everyone by now knows exactly where I sit politically on. If you are such a independent girly, feminist, da, 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 why does your income or what you're spending have anything to do with the man you're dating? What does it matter if he's broke? That's his money. Your money's your money. What like she very much likes to put herself in a very elite status. She loves to feel superior. She wants to feel desired by men. And my thing is like, you saw that box of makeup. I She always goes very plain because I rarely see eyeshadow on, eyeliner. I almost never see where's all that makeup going? Where are you wearing it? I
Maybe
do see her say
a
again.
lot on her base? I don't know. Maybe.
She's gonna have to be caked. I mean
Yeah.
caked. Like it I see highlighter sometimes. Like that first one where she got her hair done and she was talking about like, the internalized fat phobia, whatever. You could see some makeup on there.
Mhm.
But it's just like she's sitting there and $475 a month for one dog. I feed all of my animals on 275 a month. All of them. And huh, what are you doing, ma'am? Like what? And but
Oh, and then okay, so I have an accompanying clip. Sorry, I'm bouncing around a lot, but it's just I know you're gonna say something, so and this is what she has to say about what she expects of men.
And I just am like, why is that controversial? We have to like really like respect ourselves and not just let any man have us. In the same way that like I would never give my body to a man that is not paying my bills. Like you are my boyfriend and you are taking care of me if you are getting that kind of access to me. On that note, I'm still very appreciative and I respect the women that do date the men that say no and don't want to be providers because I think about how angry men would be, like even more towards women than they already are if like those women weren't like taking one for the team kind of a thing. But anyway, that's my rant for today.
So I just wanted to add that because we had to see what her bills were, right? I wanted you to see what her bills were, and then I won't date a man that won't pay my bills.
I won't she pretty much you know what? I would say something very controversial. I don't want to do that on your channel, but I might say it on mine. If you need a man to pay for it, what does that make you? Just saying. You're just a very expensive one at that point. And my issue is like before I say it, actually, I want your opinion. I want to know what you got to say about all that because you and I are happily married women. So
Yes.
I want to know. I lost my rings. That's why it's not on. I lost mine in October of 2023. Pray I find it. But you tell me how in your marriage, with the amount of time you've been with your husband,
Mhm.
what you think about all that, babe?
We're equals. Like I want to be an equal. I and the thing is, um, my first marriage, my first husband earned more than me, but we treated things as equals. It's like, okay, so in comparison of like how much he makes versus how much I make, maybe I was contributing like it was like 30/70 instead of 50/50. But we were still like, I don't expect him to pamper me. Like I take care of what I can take care of and he takes care of what he can take care of and we help each other. If my hobbies were always a little bit more expensive. Like I was a figure skater, so we had to spend like about 350 a month to skate on a team, whereas he signs up for like men's basketball and that's his cost for the whole season, right? Like
Right.
that's my monthly fee. So then it's like, okay, well, I'll help you out a little bit because your sport is more expensive, but it's not like demanding that he has to pay for
It's
everything.
entitlement, and my thing is automatically just dating is 6 months to 3 years. That means you're just getting to know this person and you automatically expect at least 50% of their income to fund you, which she has a very expensive lifestyle. My question is, what does she bring to the table? She doesn't look like she's a very pleasant person to be around. She doesn't act like a very pleasant person to be around. And I would despise getting in a fight with her. Because I feel like no matter how wrong she would be, she can be like, is that how you want to be? Oh, really? I feel like that'd be the entire, like, no matter how wrong she is, she'll
Hmm.
make you go crazy, bashing your head against the wall. I don't see any worth in her
Well,
as
we're
a
gonna get into that because, like, the reason why I'm playing these older videos first is because we're gonna see what she starts saying now, and like kind of pretending like she
because it's
wasn't.
gotta be it's you have to develop somehow, ma'am. You have to develop somehow because I'll tell you right now, in a marriage, Imma say this right now, and I'm sure Lydia will back it up. If you have been or you want to be, we'll put it that way. If you want to be in a long-term relationship, whether it be marriage or not, because people are anti-marriage and whatever, there are going to be seasons in that relationship where sometimes you are the breadwinner. Sometimes you aren't the breadwinner.
Hmm.
Sometimes you have to be the emotional stronghold.
Hmm.
Sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
Equal partners doesn't always mean you're carrying equal weight. But
Yeah.
partners mean that sometimes when your spouse, like for instance, and just going to be very vague, the last 2 weeks, my husband has had to do a lot of the heavy lifting in the household. And he's done it with grace and kindness. And he has not allowed me to beat myself up. And that was beautiful because trust me, I had the boxing gloves out and I was ready. And
Hmm.
we were sitting there and I was saying to him, I couldn't even get the word fault. I don't know if he was going, shut up, shut up. And maybe that's not the type of way you talk to your spouse. I
Hmm.
understand it as love in my family,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like she understands that. And if
Mhm.
your entire basis, like she said, when you become a partner with somebody, because again, this is a lot of stuff the girl talks about, there isn't his money, my money. I've seen so many relationships. As a matter of fact, I have a friend who just broke up with her boyfriend because he refused to he wanted to do a prenup, but they're not even getting married because he did not want her to have any financial ties to the house they just bought. There's no equity in it, but he wanted to make sure she could not get any money from it if they broke up. It's an insane. You're making a prenup without the nup,
Yes,
and
exactly.
there's no nup happening, and you're still doing it. If you don't know what a prenup is, a prenuptial agreement.
Yeah, 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 I know.
And well, I know you, but
Oh, okay. Oh, the
we have
audience.
a young audience. Most of them probably don't even know what a nup is,
Mm,
and
yeah.
they'll think it's a dirty word.
Mhm.
And so she asked him. She gave a very fair alternative. She's like, "Listen, I will provide this towards it if you'll ensure that I get this." And he went, "No." Like there was no compromising. He only wanted her to help pay for the house, but he did not want her to get any benefit or help. And that is because they've lived their entire relationship, which is closing in on 8 years together, where they've had separate finances the whole time.
Wow.
And I'm just like, so I will tell you guys, listen, you do your relationship the way you want. That is a really easy way to kill your relationship too.
Mhm.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Went off on
I'm
a tangent.
showing also these videos just to kind of build the character of who we're dragging today. And I'm saying dragging because usually I do a review, and I'm just going to be honest. This time, this is not a review. This is a drag.
This is a drag.
Okay, so I just wanted to come back to this. This is the last time you were on the channel and we were talking about her. And I wanted to just kind of review what a little bit of what I said and a little bit of what you said and ask if you still have the same opinion. So
Let's
let's
see.
see. Let's see what did Starzan say the first time. Now, my issue with Anti Diet Pilot is that sometimes she'll make outright statements like, yes, there are reasons to lose weight and they're valid, but they're also fat phobic. And she'll be really, really, really harsh. But then you'll also catch her in these moments of like, oh, you know, if I don't put in any sort of regulation, I feel completely off the rails and out of control with food. So she does kind of break at times. I think that she struggles with her body a lot, that she doesn't like it when she gains weight, but then she will also say at the same time, no, it's fine, I'm happy. And so she's kind of all over the map, and I don't know what's going to happen. Thoughts?
No, I actually hate this woman.
Okay.
This, whatever her name is now is not what her name was before. She actually fell off the map. She went completely dead space for a while and then came back with this new name. No, no. She's a hypocrite. She's a liar, and she's purposely doing it, I think, because she actually hates fat people and she wants to see them fail by lying to them like this.
This
Looks like I
doesn't hair.
haven't changed. Looks like I haven't changed. I
Your
still feel
reaction
the
was, I actually hate this person.
I genuinely hate the bitch. Like, I don't like her. I because like a lot of these people that we talk about in the Bopo, you know, a lot of them interacted with me when I first made videos, got real mad at me real quick because I was the person, I'm the voice that's supposed to be allowed to speak. But when I spoke, they didn't like what I had to freaking say. And so they would either try to discredit me, I would literally drag them, and then they block me. All of them blocked me. And that's one of the reasons why I am grateful my original TikTok did get like did I say my original TikTok what it got burned for? They got rid of it because I made a video defending Mattress Firm. None of
Oh,
the other things I did. It was Mattress Firm. But thought you
okay.
find that funny. But she was one of the ones where I would watch her, and again, I didn't remember me saying that, but I feel the exact same way. It just feels like she has very mean girl energy, and she needs to feel on top. So what better way than to feel on top than have people that are worshiping you, that are giving you attention, giving you money, giving you love, and they're looking to you to guide them and make them happy. But their happiness doesn't make you happy. Nay, nay, nay. Their misery. So, what better way than to make them miserable while equally making yourself happy than trick all of them? And like you said it in that prediction, is she going to go towards weight loss? Where the fuck is she now?
Well, we're
Is
getting
she not?
there. We still need to watch her get fat, okay?
I know, right? Like
This was
she
yes,
like
this was a wave. This was a wave. Yeah, actually, what's kind of funny is I wasn't even planning on playing but right before we got together today, I'm like, oh, I can't remember what did Starzan say last time. And when the opening thing was, I actually hate her. I'm like, oh, I have to play this.
and I like that everyone joined me this time. We opened the chat and it's like, we all hate her.
I know. And it's funny because you know what? We share a lot on that chat. We do. And not everything gets a big reaction.
No, but that one did. Like, even people who won't always like, I can name at least 3 people I won't, but she
Yeah.
knows I know there's 3
Yeah.
people who rarely comment,
Yes.
and she was brought up and they were like, "Hold my beer, we're spilling the tea, thank you." Like, they were ready. There was
Yeah.
videos being shared, there's screenshots being shared. "Oh, I had this video." I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, I'm like,
that's
because then it was
reading
about
like
like what's been deleted because like you know, she's just changed. Like she just says this, says this, says this, says
thing is,
that.
what that is, that's a sign of a narcissist. It's and I know that the therapy speak these days, but when someone is given a place of power on the internet, we've seen it time and again with multiple influencers, when they get that little taste of power, and that power is backed financially, they get to exude the worst parts of themselves. Momfluencers are a perfect example of that. How many children get exploited by their previously loving parents because the dollar is coming? How many
Mm.
people have gone and destroyed their own bodies, destroyed their reputations? Johnny Somali is another perfect example of someone who literally ruined his entire life for
Mhm.
that little taste of clout. And so it's like the internet can absolutely amplify your bad intentions when you get any form of power. And she was one of the main names, one of the main images in the
Yeah.
entire movement.
And she
So
was
it's
being stitched with everyone, so, like, you just kept seeing her everywhere. She was a
you
huge
know,
influencer, and she was one of the thin ones, and it always got me angry because it was like, you are one of those that want everybody else to get fat so that you feel better. And when you
mm,
gain weight, you are thinking, "Well, if I can make you gain more weight, then I'll still be thinner than you."
yep. Oh yeah. And that's the thing. Why that's the thing that nobody wants to hear. When she would do those, I still recall, I forget what it was, but it was absolutely stupid what came on screen. And she's walking like this with her phone, and she's walking through her house, and she's got this face. And she's doing that, and on screen is these words that are gotcha. And it's got a popular song playing to it. And all the little Bopo bitches came up and they were like, yes, yes, they were stitching it and they were pointing at it. And she was their token thin. She was the token skinny because she was
Yes.
doing what they wanted. And it was like, again, that's where you can see this is where she felt the most powerful. She would make up these statements, and I like that's actually one of the reasons why I did one of my biggest TikToks I ever did was me dancing to All About That Bass. And in
Mhm.
it, I imitated what she does, where I'm like saying snappy little sassy things on screen because
Mhm.
they all do that. And a lot of people did not like that video. But I remember that part. But it's like, it's stuff like that that she does. And
Mhm.
why, again, it always goes back to she feels powerful doing that, controlling people that way, and she's just trying to find a new way every time. Just,
Yep.
like, go away for a little while, forget anything that I did that was controversial that they might not like, they might not agree with, and then come on back and lure them in with the same thing.
How can you be the most special? You can be the skinniest one in the fat acceptance movement.
I'm the pretty.
Mhm.
I have money. I'm pretty. They can all want to be me, but they can't, so they'll just all love me instead. That's what it feels like.
I don't care how hard the Ozempic girlies try to shove that shit down my throat. I will never go down a path of intentional weight loss ever again. Weight has gone up, but so has my income, my quality of life, my self-confidence, and everything in between. My self-esteem was so low, I let men treat me like garbage, do the bare minimum, and now because of body positivity, body neutrality, and feeling confident in my self-worth, the men I date today give me princess treatment because I demand it. Literally, food, my body, and exercise were the only things I ever thought about. Now that I'm not so consumed with those thoughts, I get to focus on life, my friends, what I'm doing next year, where I want to go this weekend. There's also so much research that shows how bad dieting is for our bodies. I would never do that to my body ever again. People could really benefit from differentiating how they feel from how they look. One has to do with health, the other has to do with vanity. In my opinion, dieting is just an illusion of something that will get you a better life. It doesn't actually make your life better. It's miserable. Ask anyone who's currently dieting. It fucking sucks. So why do it? Health at every size. Go research it. Love you.
As someone currently doing what you would consider dieting, it doesn't suck at all. I it doesn't suck at all. You know why? Because what they call dieting is just changing your habits. So I eat higher protein. I pick the you know what? I'm getting so annoyed already. It's I wonder what she considered trash treatment before. I would really love to see that. But the hilarity of someone telling me about vanity while she's got fake lashes on fake nails, she's got highlighters,
Botox.
Botox. Don't ever talk to me about body neutrality and body like, you cannot be neutral about your body and then be positive. You're either
And spend $7,000 a month on herself.
15,000 on makeup alone that looks like you're not wearing makeup at all.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. And the thing is, I you know what? You said it earlier, and it's right because I know she has really bad acne. Like, for instance, kids, I don't know what you can see. This is all because Starzan breaks out in the heat. So all from here to here. Okay. I don't cover it up. What I did was I did my skincare, which my skincare is Burt's Bees. I didn't need no
Mhm.
1,500 freaking dollars to make it work.
Yeah.
And I I foolishly ran out of my honey and I had been drinking, don't judge me, actual sugar.
Oh.
And in my coffee, I was very upset about it. And I noticed that was something as someone who rarely has refined sugar.
Mhm.
I did 1.5 weeks on refined sugar and all of this broke out.
Oh, wow.
So I say that because somebody who's spending $7,000, which is what my grandfather would be like, $7,000, okay? She's spending that much to look that good, but if you take off that cake, she is covered in acne. So, how good is she actually? What what how does she put what is that the diet? I just forgot what it is when you listen to your intuitive eating.
Intuitive. Yeah.
Is she actually being intuitive? How much is she binging
Mhm.
when she's not on camera? How much of that food that she loves to show off is she actually eating when she doesn't have a that's my question.
Yeah.
Because who is on a much lower income than her, who is eating a lot different than she is and not as expensive, I don't have nearly the skin issues she does. And I certainly am not using those expensive products like she is.
I don't know how to have this conversation. I keep restarting this video over and over, but I wanted to talk about being in the largest body that you've ever been in while you're like recovering from ED behavior. Because it's so hard, especially like right now in 2024, when over the past like 4 months, people have been dropping so much fucking weight. Like, there's so many creators that I've been watching for years, and I have to sit here and like contemplate if I need to unfollow them. And like when you say it out loud, you're like, oh, I'm unfollowing them because they've lost weight. Like, that sounds so stupid. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to unfollow them because of that. Like, I love their content. But like, for example, this one girl was getting ready for a wedding today, and like you can just see how much weight she's lost. And I'm like, because in my brain I'm like, oh, she looks so much better. So I'm like, why am I thinking those thoughts? I don't want to have those thoughts because I don't want anyone to like, I don't want to feel pressured into like doing things that led me down a really hard path.
My flabbers are gasted because what did she just do? She you know what the worst thing is? She did both of the things that you predicted. She didn't stick to one, she really wanted to overachieve. And
Wanted to overachieve.
she was like, "Why can I be one personality when I can be all of them?" And
Yes.
wow. So the same
This is the upswing. This is her getting fat now. We have we went from skinny, I'm supporting you, and I like
I'm
but I
supporting you and nobody can be actively even if it's a valid reason you're fat phobic and da 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 da. And if you do it, you have every right to unfollow these people because they're toxic and da 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 da.
and now the tables have turned because now she's the fat girl and everyone else is losing weight on Ozempic and now she's having a hard time.
I can't. I cannot. This
But remember, we have to remember there's nothing, it's very fat phobic. Let's go back to video one when she was skinny, video one, it's fat phobic to think
she
those
can't say
things.
that somebody looks good because they're suddenly in a thinner body. Just because they are not taking up as much space as she is. She is valid to take up that space. Don't you dare look at your body and only wear sweatpants and sweatshirts when you're on screen.
Like
That will cover you up. Don't do that. Because
like
you know what she was wearing, right? You notice the difference in her outfit too?
yeah. Oh,
Gone are the tight t-shirts
no,
and
because she's
midriff.
gained
Mhm,
weight.
mhm.
I'm so interested in the vocabulary that she used in this video because all those
And the
things like
tone. Did you notice the tone difference
if she
too?
said it 2 years ago or even no not even 2 years ago. I mean she just like even 6 months ago, things like noticing the weight loss, first of all, even mentioning weight loss and saying looking better.
Can't say that.
Those are
And the
things that like the girl in the first video would
would never even
never say.
never even allow. Never even like the she would have immediately unfollowed all those
Mhm.
influencers, had a call out video. And did you notice how humble her voice was? How vulnerable she sounded? How
Yes.
how weird that when she becomes the more overweight girl, she suddenly doesn't feel that innate smugness, that innate
No.
confidence. It immediately goes away. And I don't think, because again, even in videos I've watched of her, where she's trying to connect. Like there was this one video she did about a woman she wanted to be friends with. And I
Mhm.
actually agree with her in the video. I actually agree with her in the video. However, her tone, even in that video, was smug. It was snotty. It was catty. Like I remember thinking, I'm like, I just wish she wouldn't talk that way in something that's actually she's right about. But dang, why be one personality when you can be all of them? Because she is literally basing it off of she is the definition of person that values body. She
Mhm.
really is that person.
Oh, yeah. It
It's
it's like body it's that's gotta be her number 1 value, and she's just trying so hard to project that everybody else has it but her, because she's
mhm,
living her life now, because she's not obsessing, because all those
not at
other
all.
girlies, they can all go away.
Even though literally half of her income goes to like clothing, Botox, waxing, nails, makeup. How many thousands of dollars she was spending a month on those things. Oh, but guys,
$7,000 a month and she doesn't own a house?
right? Why are you lowering your value, ma'am? Because let me tell you something. I am very some I was just talking to my boss about it. She was like, "Well, what do you say when people ask you, what are you going to be doing for vacation?" I'm like, "Enjoying my mortgage."
Mhm.
That to me is valuable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sitting here enjoying my vet bills. That's what I'm gonna be enjoying.
Mhm.
And all the again, the only value I saw in her from that video, and I still only see in her, is a whatchamacalls it, a person that only relies on the financial what she finances into herself, what she money she puts into herself. I don't even know what she does for work. She claims she has a very high paying job, don't know what it is.
Yeah,
And
that's weird because she was just a fitness instructor before, right? So how do you go from minimum wage Orange Theory to, like, high paying executive?
right, like, there's no way you're making that much like, and she's sitting there talking about her coworkers and this, that, and the other, and offices and I'm just like, something's the math isn't mathing.
Doesn't
And
make
it
sense how you can go from that to that. Like,
and you're sitting there telling me you got such a high-end life. Well, what I don't actually, we don't know where she lives, but, in this economy and in the economy for the last 4 years, 2,700's been pretty standard for most people, even in not so great areas for rent. So, but you claim that's your rent. Her apartment never it her apartment is giving prefab. I don't know how much of her life she's being honest about. I
mhm,
really don't. There's some things where I see she's expensive, like the food she eats, I know that that's expensive, the one she eats on camera.
mhm,
I just don't know how much of her life is true, how much of her life is accurate, because I have seen girls that I know for a fact have no money, but they've got new expensive nails and lashes every week.
mhm,
I know for a fact these girls are living in trap houses. But they're always showing up looking nice, so who knows? Maybe she
right.
is getting a guy to fund her, I don't know, but it's just everything about this just it reads weird.
Yes.
I know.
And it gets
You
weirder. It's gonna get weirder. Let's get weirder.
Let's
Okay.
1992 painting on that wall.
I don't want this one. 1 second. We were here. We were here. Okay. So now we are at the admission video. So wait,
Mm,
wait, 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 wait. Before I play it, she's gone a long time.
she's in Chicago, says it right there. Okay, that answers my question.
Okay.
2,700, that's standard.
So the face that we saw in the brown jumpsuit and the face that we're looking at right now after several months. Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
different. That
Hmm.
that when she was in number 1, the angle was like this, she's looking kinda sad, like you can see the smugness, like, in this one still frame, you see the smug has returned. The arrogance is back in full force.
Okay, so let's see what she has to say now.
I'm on a GLP-1 and I know some people are gonna feel very hurt or confused or be like, bitch, what the fuck? I also would probably say the same thing. I've been wanting to come back to TikTok for a very long time, but I told myself until I was ready to talk about this, I would not come back because I did not want to be a dishonest bitch like some of these other people, no names. I don't want to trigger anyone. And if seeing somebody on a GLP-1 is not good for your mental health, like I'm letting you know now. I want to just first of all say that I did not get on GLP-1 for weight loss. I have an underlying medical condition. I'm not going to go into detail, but it was prescribed by my doctor. I remember sitting in the doctor's office being like, this stupid fatphobic bitch. Like, I genuinely thought she was just being fatphobic because I'm telling her I'm having these symptoms and she's like
prescribed me a weight loss medication. Like, what the fuck? I just felt like I was so angry at the time. But I came home, did my own research. Because of my symptoms, I was like so desperate at the time. I was like, I need relief. So like, if I just try this and it doesn't work, my insurance covers it, like no harm, no foul. After 4 weeks of being on the GLP-1, I was eating 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I worked with a dietitian for a little bit in the beginning. I am mindful about my protein. I'm not like, I try to get over 100 grams a day, but like, honestly, I just eyeball it and I don't hit it every day and I don't care. I try to get 25 grams of fiber, but that's a goal I've had before the GLP-1, and then just trying to drink a lot of water, electrolytes, things like that. So in that regard, like eating wise, I don't really feel like it changed a lot. It did change like the way that I crave food. Like I don't crave like fast food and stuff like that anymore. Now I would much rather cook than like go out to eat. So I think that's like the biggest change. I don't really get any side effects. There's no like constipation, vomiting, diarrhea, nausea. I don't know. I don't get any of those symptoms. I just get a little dehydrated when I haven't had enough water. I was just really struggling trying to figure out how to come back and talk about this. I've also been experiencing like a lot of cognitive dissonance and feeling like a hypocrite or like a failure. I think almost exactly a year ago, I went viral talking smack about GLP-1s and how all these people are going on GLP-1s for weight loss and just like pretending like nothing fucking happened. I think my body has definitely changed since being on a GLP-1. So it is something that's been kind of like hard for me because I'm like, oh, I'm feeling better and I'm losing weight. With my experience, I'm starting to like link those two again, and I don't want to like go back into that mindset of like I need to be as small as possible in order to be healthy. I have really good friends, really good mutuals I talk to and confide in all the time. And I think I'm staying pretty good. I have like one friend that I know would literally slap the shit out of me if I like was going back into like diet culture. So it hasn't happened yet, so I'm assuming that I'm doing okay. I think the biggest thing for me is that I don't know what the future of my account is. I really just want to be able to post whatever I want. So that's why I'm making the disclaimer. I don't think I'm going to be doing like, hey guys, I lost X amount of pounds this week. Like, I don't think I'm going to be doing anything like that. It doesn't interest me. And there's already a bunch of people that already do that on GLP-1s on this app. But I think it would be really beneficial. I know a lot of people that followed me because they had issues with BED. And I would love to, share my experience and how it's literally made those urges and that like mindset around food like completely vanish. It's been such a godsend. And yeah, I know some people are not going to understand, and I totally get it.
She's on a GLP-1 for symptoms.
Underlying medical condition. So, you won't go into it. Cool. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Keep
But
talking. I'm gonna be sharing my screen, but it's text, so keep talking.
no problem. Correct me if I am wrong, but I recall an entire movement in the BOPO community, including that said, anytime there's a medical procedure, anything where it is a GLP-1 or it is any kind of weight loss or it has to happen for your health, that is a lie. It is made up. None of it ever is needed. Oh, you want to get weight loss surgery so that way your knees don't hurt? Nay, nay, nay. That doesn't exist. That is just you being fat. Back. Okay. Underlying medical condition. Clearly it's not real then. It's just fat phobia.
Okay, so I looked up reasons to prescribe GLP-1. Like it's if you're overweight or have diabetes, okay? Like everything else, it always comes back to conditions related to obesity, okay? That is what
And
they,
cardiovascular problems, which is guess what? Obesity.
and then at the very end, where did it say something?
And the thing is, she's saying she's experienced almost no side effects. Her sitting there like, oh, there's just so much to unpack in that.
So the thing is, like, she's taking it for her symptoms. However, let's actually, while I have this open, we'll just go straight into the next one because I'm very confused by this.
Good morning. It's actually the afternoon. It's 1 o'clock. I've been in my new place for a day and a half, so sorry if it's echoey. I'm doing my injection today. I've officially been on Zepbound for 8 weeks, and My biggest happiness, well, there's two things, but the first is that I feel like I have my face back. Like, I have my face back. Like, this is my face. This is how I remember it. And not having as like much inflammation and shit is just making me feel so much better. I just finished week 8 and I've lost, oh, but, and that makes sense because I'm kind of like back to how I remember my face before sadness and depression and all of that really fun stuff. I can't find my speaker, so I'm picking some music. We're gonna do Feeling Myself whenever. But let's get it over with. Oh, I did that on accident. Maybe that's a hack. I'm gonna go eat a healthy meal. I knew talking about being on a GLP-1 would ruffle some people's feathers, or like, you know, posting content about my progress of being on a GLP-1 would maybe hurt some people. And I totally get that. I know it's not gonna be everyone's vibe. That is why I posted a video saying, hey guys, I'm on a GLP-1, and I pinned it to my profile because I do not want anyone who feels like that would be unhealthy for them to watch that. But I also want to disclaim that I probably could have put this in the caption, but I didn't. I'm specifically talking about the inflammatoriness of my face in the before photo. You guys, a GLP-1 will literally get rid of every ounce of excess water in your body. You will not be inflamed on this medication. It's like genuinely impossible. So what I'm specifically talking about is the change in my face. Like, I'm probably not going to disclose whether or not I've lost weight or how much weight I've lost. Like, I mean, I could change my mind at any point, but right now I don't feel like I'm going to be doing that. Some people won't understand, but like, when you lose your face temporarily and then all of a sudden you have your face back and you look in the mirror, every time you look in the mirror, it's like you recognize yourself again. Like, for so long, I felt like I didn't recognize myself, and like all of a sudden I'm like recognizing myself again, and like that is a priceless, okay? And I wanted to share it on the internet. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I know, like, I can't please everyone, but I tried to do this the best that I could.
Inflammation and weight loss. Did she lose the water, the inflammation, or did she just lose fat out of her face?
Lydia, don't you realize? I know how you said my face was thinner. Didn't lose weight.
It's
Don't
just
you
less
know, guys?
inflamed.
I was so inflamed for the past, let's see,
Your
since
arms were
2020.
inflamed.
My eyes, my cheeks, my chin. This was not fat here, children. No, this was inflammation of the water. As you see, I drink so much of it. It had to go somewhere. Now, I know you're going to say, but Starzan, you still drink that much water, double that. Don't talk about that. That's not the point. It goes somewhere else now. Okay. Okay. Weight loss? Why would that show up anywhere in the absolute hilarity of her trying? This is the definition of gaslighting. Nay, 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 nay. I didn't lose weight. I was just inflamed on every part of my body.
I don't know what was so hard about, like, you can change I don't have a problem with people changing their minds. In fact, I want them to change their minds. I want them to wake up. It's not that I want to drag her for changing her mind, but she's not real. Like, just come on and say, hey, you know what? I was wrong. That all that shit I said, it was wrong.
A
This is what I'm
narcissist.
doing. I'm losing weight now because it's healthy. And that's what it's healthy for my body. And you know what? I'm vain. I'm vain and this is what I want to do.
She's never going to admit that because she is so self-centered and so, like, her image is everything, even down to her opinions. She could never actually change her mind. She could never actually admit what she's done wrong. Nay, nay, nay. It's not that she's wrong. It's that you guys are just not understanding. It's not that she is trying to be damaging or she's changing her mind. It's that you guys are just not getting it. You're over analyzing certain things. It's hilarious to me that you could sit there and say that when water leaves your body, that doesn't make you lose weight. Okay. So water is weightless? Tell that to every fish owner in the world. Because I promise you, a 90-gallon tank, don't worry, guys. You don't need to reinforce the floors. It's weightless.
I'm not gonna play all of her videos, but what I'm noticing is she comes on to say that she's taking this GLP-1 for symptoms. But then the rest of
Underlying.
yes, underlying symptoms. But she never brings up, even without mentioning what they are, hey, my symptoms have been alleviated. Then my symptoms have been lightened. I'm doing like my blood work was better. Nothing, nothing, nothing. But it is about weight loss. My face looks better. And her definition of it, and then she talks about food noise. Like I like all the symptoms seem to be BED related.
Here's the thing, it's almost like the bad dieting choices that she's made cause her to be borderline diabetic because fun fact, a lot of inflammation like that is due to cardiovascular problems and your arteries getting clogged. So it's almost like perhaps this is helping her underlying cardiovascular problems. And now that she is starting to lose that inflammation and she's actually making proper dieting choices and she's not listening to these asinine body positivity movement issues, she's actually getting better. But she can't
Mhm.
come out and actually say that, Lydia. No, 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 no. She can't say that. So instead, it's just, oh my God, my face is back. But obviously, if you want to lose weight, it's only after vanity and because you're trying to do everything that is popular in the normal day and age of being pretty and following these patriarchal standards. But of course, when I go and I spend $1,500 on makeup a month, and when I go and spend $400 on waxing, and when I go and spend $600 on Botox, that's not me being vain. That is just me being a princess.
She demands it. She
I
demands
demand it. You will
princess.
not treat me like trash anymore. Oh, you want to bring me flowers? You want to tell me you love me? You want to have a date at home? Peasant. I
I j-
can't.
I can't with her. Just out of all of the different fat activists that I've covered or you've covered in the past, the reason why this one gets under my skin is like she just twists so much.
She's a
So
manipulator.
much. And all it would take for me to respect her is to say, "Hey, I was wrong." You know how many times I've had to come on camera, I fucked up a video, oops, that was wrong.
Hmm. We
I'm
all
human.
do it. We all do it. We make a mistake. Maybe there's an opinion or a factoid we got wrong. Like that's something where because my channel, like you said, my channel when I do come back, which is I'm hoping my springboard, it's not going to be Bopo centric. I am going to follow more of the opinions that I have on politics and everyday stuff. And I know it's not going to be for everyone's taste. But that's one of the reasons why it's taken me longer because opinion pieces on an idiot saying that being overweight doesn't actually affect your knees is a lot easier to do than talking about the current whatever climate, this war in this place, this economy in this place, this person saying this about the law. That's a lot more complicated.
Mhm,
So it makes sense that you might take your time on that. Right now, what she's trying to do is take actual facts and actual issues and paint them in an opinionated way.
mhm.
So that way nobody questions her too hard. So that way nobody pokes that little bubble too difficult. That's
There
how
is
people.
absolutely no symptom that is not related to weight loss that she's being treated for, in my opinion. Like,
Well, I mean, you just looked it up. That I didn't see anything that wasn't in some way related to either
to
your
weight
organs having a problem due to bad
weight,
dieting choices or weight.
yeah,
There's nothing. There is nothing. If you have inflammation, there is somewhere in your body where you're gaining too much weight because inflammation is retention of water. And
mhm,
I again, like I said before, if water is collecting in your body, say it with me, kids, you go up in weight. It's just
mhm,
and the thing is, if it was just inflammation, a water pill
yeah,
would be all she needed. It would not have to be. And so again, I think it had to be something like pre-diabetic. It had
mhm.
to be.
Last section I wanna do with you is we've covered Anti-Diet Pilot and all of her antics today. Now, we did a prediction of her before. I wanna do another prediction. Number 1, will she ever, ever, ever admit that she said something wrong?
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, considering that one of the videos that she made was about her sitting there going, "I'm seeing people getting mad at Remy Bader and da 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 da." She's never gonna say outwardly that she's wrong. She will gently turn her opinion like she did in these other videos while still gaslighting everyone into believing that it's their fault, that they
Yeah.
didn't recognize what she was saying before. And so, no, I don't believe she'll ever be able to be the 100% honest person that she pretends she is, to just say, "You know what, guys? I need to come clean. I don't like being
Really come.
overweight, and I don't think it's right to be overweight, and I only wanted to, make you guys feel better about yourself, and I was riding on a I don't think she's gonna be able to. I think it's too scary. It's too
Like
scary because right now she can easily come back to her audience and still make money.
like,
If she does that,
I thought that she did such a disservice to herself. Like, she could have actually changed. But the second in her confession of taking GLP-1 that she was calling her doctor a fat phobic bitch.
even though she technically corrects it, she goes, "Oh, well, she was not, but" there's
And
no
just
but.
imagine it being her doctor. Just imagine being her doctor and seeing this video and knowing, as you and I already know, that she went there asking for GLP-1 to lose weight,
Mhm.
not for symptoms.
It's real easy to play that off, though.
But imagine being her doctor and seeing this,
I hope they
knowing what
didn't.
she said, knowing you can't say anything because of your doctor patient confidentiality, and being dragged for this, and knowing that you would never have prescribed a GLP-1 for anything other than weight loss or diabetes.
Especially when before she would constantly advocate that anytime your doctor suggests anything that could even inadvertently cause weight loss, well, that's still them being fat phobic.
But
It drives me
like,
nuts. It
if
drives me
that was
nuts.
an opportunity, if you've been gone for a long time, like, you're gonna come back. But this is how social media works. I don't think it's hard to keep doing it all the time. I need to take a break. You need to take a break. We all need to take a break
Right,
sometimes.
right.
But
Get
take a break.
mad.
Come back, you can reinvent yourself, but you can also say sorry. You can say, I've changed my mind. You know what? During this time, I was doing a lot of thinking, and I got to come clean. This is how I feel. She had a chance to say exactly that. I don't like being fat. I'm going
Well,
to take
every time she had a
GLP.
chance to say sorry, she didn't. Every time she had a chance to say sorry, you notice she's like, "But, well, this is how it is. Well, this is how I need it. Well, I'm doing this for me." Like, there was never a "I'm sorry." It was a "That's valid. You're allowed to feel that way." Not a "You know what? I have changed who I am, and I understand that's not good for you." It never came across that way. And if I'm wrong, you all can correct me. But that's not how it came across to me. It always came across in a way of, "I'm sorry you feel that way. You're valid in the fact that you can't handle me right now." That's how it came across to me. Because again, in that one where she's in that little pink sweatshirt, because again,
Yeah.
you noticed the way she was dressing, the color she was using. When she felt she was fat, she was dressed in dark
Brown. Yeah.
brown. But as soon as she became not fat again, oh, the bright pinks came back, the whites came back, all the
Hmm.
this, that, and the other. What's your next prediction?
Oh, the next thing, the prediction question is she going to be popular again?
No, no, I think she lost. You know how I think that? Because when she came back the next the not the last time, but the time before that, she wasn't. None of them are. Even Tess. None of them are ever going to be as popular as they were. And the reason why is because just like every other influencer in every other sect, their time is done. You have a certain amount of time. And if you ever want to change it, you have to actually change yourself in a genuine way. There's a very select set of people online who are evergreen. They're always going to get their big audience, but everyone also has a season. And with her, she is so specialized in what she talks about. She is so pigeonholed in what she does. There's no variety in her conversation. She said that she wants to upload whatever she wants. This is what everybody, after they've been pigeonholed, says. You and I
Yeah.
are in the same boat. I
Oh,
said the
yeah.
same thing.
We can't help it. If you don't get somewhat pigeonholed, how is YouTube going to do an algorithm with you? If you do everything, it's very hard for YouTube to recognize you for everything. Like,
Exactly.
you do
You
get the
actually have to
people.
make other channels for it to work,
Yes.
or you have to do quote unquote series. You have
Mm,
to actually set up playlists for the insider thing about this.
yeah.
So no, I don't think that, because unless she actually actively 100% throws herself into getting away from those topics, anything to do with body positivity, anything to do with recovery, because the problem is, at the end of the day, there's a billion people talking about EDs out there. There's a billion people, and a lot more of them are much more honest about themselves, their journey, and what's going on with them than she ever will be, because her bullshit is literally on record. There is
Mhm.
tons of videos from back in the day, and the reason why she changes her name, that's why, because it's a lot harder to find out
Yeah,
the
which
bullshit she used to say.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of records, but, like, I just find her one of just
She's
the smuggest she's the smuggest of the fat acceptance ones, and the one, and I guess of all of them, her does she get under my skin the most?
I
Probably.
would not say she's under my skin the most, but she's definitely one of the ones where I had the most immediate disgusted reaction.
I think it's just because she's a grifter, just like the British lady.
Yes. Oh my god, Asher, whatever the hell her name is.
The eat
And then the
McDonald's, that one, yeah, that one.
yeah, this the visceral fat isn't real. They, like, all of them. There's the British weight loss coach, or health coach, all
Yeah,
of fitness coach. That's the word, fitness
yeah,
coach. And it's all of them, because their seasons have passed,
yeah.
and
Mhm.
because what they did, and this is again one of the other parts of it, the season they were in was extreme. The season they're in was cult. And that's the other problem you have. It was you have to be lock and step. You cannot change your mind. Anything you do is the enemy. And that's how they've painted it. If you're diabetic, if your knees hurt, if you're going to die, that doesn't matter, because you're leaving the cult. When Remy Bader was literally having medical problems, she was very honest about it. She stated why she had to do it. That didn't matter. She was a betrayer. Even though
Mhm.
her content actually hasn't changed.
Mhm.
Her content has remained the same. Her personality has remained the same. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all, because the fact of the matter is, she left the collective. She's no longer one of the Borg. They can't have that. And
Exactly.
that is the problem. Almost all of them became what they were because they were part of the collective. They marched lock and step, and now they don't anymore. Now it's infamy rather than camaraderie.
So thank you once again, Starzan, for joining me today. This was a fantastic conversation, as all the conversations that I always have with you.
Yes. It was cathartic. I'm sorry, but there's certain people that I can't dunk on them with my family and friends, because none of them keep up with it like we did, like, the rest of us do. And then a lot of us, anti-BOPO people, we all got our own lives. So we don't really have the time to dunk like we used to. So this was awesome. So thank you. Thank you so much.
And to all of my viewers, please go and check out Starzan's channel. She has promised that she is going to be putting out content. And if you go and ping her and send her comments, it'll hold her accountable.
It's true. I've been checking my YouTube, and that's what made me start doing it more. And that's like, I got like 6 comments in a row about a post I had done. And then I got her message, and I was like, let's do it. Like,
We're doing it.
poke and prod me. I'll get it done, guys. Thank you so much for having me. Seriously, I love this, guys. And I hope, in case you were starting to fall off the BOPO, anti-BOPO train, and maybe you were starting to fall for it again, I hope this video helped you as well. I really do. Don't let him get you.
Thanks again.
Bye.